Let's consider the following experiment. Mm, Imagine you and your friend um, is staying on a train. Let me draw it for you. Um, Train of length L, um, which is moving with um, constant velocity um, v with respect to the ground, and say um, two people, you and your friend, are standing correspondingly in front, at the front of the train and at the back of the train. Okay, I guess setup is clear. Um, Now imagine each of you um, sends some sound signal to the person on the other side. For example, you clap your hands, um, or you scream, shout, and so is your friend. And now the question is, um, which signal um, will reach the other side faster? Well, that's not that hard, I guess. Um, I haven't said it, but I think it was obvious that there is like air here. When I said sound, this means we have waves traveling through this medium, through air, uh, with the speed of sound. Sound. However, we see that um, as the train is moving this direction through the air, and you're standing on top of it, um, situation for you and for your friend are not equivalent. Um, when you emit um, the signal, the signal have to catch up with your friend, right? Because the air is not moving, the air is stationary, and your friend is moving with velocity v to the left, right? Um, so this means the time at which the signal reached him will be the distance at which he was initially plus um, the distance to which he moved, and that should be equal to speed of sound times this time. So time is L divided by S minus V. Let's say it's time 1. Uh, and in the opposite direction, um, the train brings you closer to your friend. So we'll have the same equation, but the different sign for T2. So T2 is smaller, right? This is, I hope, is quite intuitive. Uh, Nothing unclear here. But now let me repeat the same question, uh, but instead of sound, they'll be using light signals. Mhm. What the answer will be then? Well, it turns out, I don't know whether it will surprise you or not, but these times will be the same. Um, mm. And that's what basically Michelson-Morley experiment was about. That's what they found. Um, and indeed, and why would you expect them to be different? Uh, um, the light is not traveling through the air, right? I mean, it's not a wave of air molecules movement, right? It's something else. So why would you expect this time to be different? People used to think that light is also a fluctuation of some medium. Um, and this medium, just like, air molecules, it's around us. You can't see it directly, uh, but that's what light is. It's fluctuation of this medium. Mm, so people trying to find it. And this experiment basically showed um, that if this medium would exist, it would satisfy this kind of bizarre property, um, almost like um, wherever you go, no matter which velocities you go at, this medium kind of travels with you, um, and there is nothing like that, and that's why um, this medium is more or less now called vacuum, and we just say that electromagnetic waves, which what light is, propagate in a vacuum. Um, but don't be misled by this name. Um, it doesn't make this notion any less non-trivial. There is one last observation which I would like to make, um, that people might think, well, okay, this is very strange. Um, let's say if um, the light essentially doesn't have to catch up with the train, right? It's um, if the length of the train is L, right? Yeah, and of course, in everything that I'm saying, I ignored the curvature of Earth and the accelerated motion of Earth with respect to Sun or anything else. All right, we're talking about inertial frames. That's what special relativity is about. Um, so yeah, the time which takes for the signal to reach the person here from the person here and vice versa is just L divided by C, where C is the speed of light. Now, well, That's kind of makes the following question natural. Okay, if this train is moving here with velocity v, what if I consider a third person standing next um, to the railroad, stationary, which sends the light signal to the person in front at the same moment when um, the person at the back sends his signal as well, right when they are at the same location. Let's say they make an arrangement, make an agreement beforehand. Oh, whenever the back of the train pass near me, we both send our light signals um, to person in front, at the front. And let's say this distance is way smaller than L, so we neglected. Um, now, you could, in this setup, you could already expect that probably at least here, right, we see that, train is running away from this guy. So would expect then what? Um, him receiving signal from this guy later than from this guy, or what? And of course, the answer is no. Um, this guy still will receive both of the signals simultaneously. Mm, oh, sorry. And uh, both from his perspective and from the perspective of the person on the ground. However, the time at which it will happen, at which both signals reach this person, would be different. Uh, and one would different for these two perspectives. It will depend. Um, are you asking the person standing here on the ground, or are you asking this guy as this guy? Um, so yeah, this time uh, will not be the same. And in fact, they will be related precisely by the Lorentz transformation. Um, if you want, you could uh, check it yourself in this setup. So the fact that speed of light is absolute and the same in all inertial frames, like it was established by Michelson experiment, implies that um, the time is relative, because otherwise um, you could not make sense of the result of the second experiment, because these two light signals emitted at the same time from the same place should reach this guy simultaneously as well. And this only could mean that the clock ticked differently for the guy on the ground and the people on the train. Um, Next time, I hope I will be able to talk about um, what does it mean for the interval conservation and how Lorentz transformation are derived from it.